Hi, everybody. So I'm giving you a status update on the TestStar to show you where it's at. Earlier, I provided some screenshots of the design that I was working on. I just wanted to show you it working and the design integrated and just how I have the overall vision of it kind of working in the future for you. So let me jump into the browser and show you the design. Okay, so this is it. This is the TestStar. It's got the navigation here. Everything, all this navigation text also is text, so it can be translated later. Most of the imagery is really in the background images in this logo here. So the home page doesn't have anything on it yet. Eventually, I'm going to have probably some sample lists from test results from previous tests. But otherwise, right now, there's nothing there. Same here with the test results page, because I haven't got the test recording built yet. So the two parts that are working, though, are the unit tests and the web tests. So the most important part, really, the unit tester here. So what you first thing you see is this generated script, and this doesn't make sense right away. It's really only until after it makes sense, and then you'll realize why I have it at the top. So let's say you've, like personally, I just here have built these data imported tests. So I have this Zygar module that I want to be able to test. I built a library. I jumped into Sitecore and I can create these items as content to tell it that this is the name of the binary, and then it shows me a list of categories of tests that are available. Now I can check one and run it, or check two, check all. And once I kind of get it to where I want it to running the specific test categories I want, I can create a script. I can just tell it a script name and tell it to generate. This doesn't work yet, but eventually what it's going to do is create a PowerShell script with the parameters you have here from these checkboxes, so that, given all your tests, you can break them up into different scripts to run at different times. So that's unit testing. Unit testing really is important for me to be able to integrate because of these libraries here that I have to test and be able to just make changes to without and know that I didn't make it worse. So yeah, so this part is it's working. I'm pretty happy about it. The way it's working too is when I hit this run button, it's actually using jQuery to hit a web service and have the web service run the tests and feed me back the results. It's nice, clean way to deal with the UI. I was doing it through web forms before, and it just got difficult. Plus, this is a little bit more responsive. And you'll see here, let me jump to the web testing because the UI makes a whole lot more sense when you're running these tests, because I wanted them to run one at a time, not as an entire postback and wait. So web tests are different than unit tests. Unit tests are a lot more like compile time checks. It's a little bit deeper, a little bit more thought into it. Web tests are more like runtime tests. They're hitting it with content, real content flowing through the code. Now, the thing with unit tests is that you could put, you're always going to feed it in something and say, hey, what happens? But if you feed in something like completely unexpected, something unexpected might happen. And you're only going to know that, whatever content editor is going to create after they've created it. But you want to be able to have tests just to make sure that the pages are available. Maybe there's a DNS problem. Maybe there's, God knows so many problems that you can have. But so sometimes you just need to hit it. Maybe sometimes IIS is just off, or who knows. So web tests and unit testing are really complementary. So let me jump in and show you how this testing works. First thing I want to do is be able to select an environment, which is basically a prefix. It's just telling it which machines I'm trying to hit. Local would be my own. It's HTTP / nothing really. I think it's just localhost. Test is HTTP test dot, and live is HTTP www dot. and live raw is just HTTP. So then you want to be able to tell which sites, and because you could have potentially quite a long list of sites, you would categorize each site into a system, and then you can be able to just, so maybe you just want one, you just want to run these tests against one, but maybe you want to run it against all of them for that system. Then you have that ability to just check this checkbox, and it handles checking all these sites for you. Now, here's the web tests themselves. These are, some of them will come as default. Some of them are just useful, like a ping test, like a sitemap test, which browses your sitemap and just hits all the URLs on it. Kind of makes it easy to fill up cache, is really what I use it for. And let's see, I select ping test, and what it's going to do is run this ping test against each site, against each environment. So when I hit run, and you see they're coming in one at a time. And here it's telling you the test, it's telling you the environment, and then it's telling you the site. And then here it's telling you the same environment, different site. And that's a different environment, looping to the same two sites. And you'll see here, you've got this bluish purple, and that's indicating that it was skipped. And it's giving a little message about that. Green is that the test succeeded. And there's red and orange, which is, let me see if I can get the, yeah, here's red. Red is a failed test, and it's pinging something that it's throwing a 401, which is how, because I have a password on it. And orange is that the system itself threw an exception. And that's a completely different issue. So they're all kind of clearly identified. It gives a nice little list here. So that's it. That's the TestStar front end. This is how I'm envisioning being able to work with unit and web testing. Should make, what I'm hoping is that it'll make your life easier by being able to let you focus on just building the tests and not worry about how to deploy the tests, how to run the tests, what you have to do to, get away from the little bit of the NUnit XE UI, which is, functional, but plus, here with the unit tests, I'm really running off the concept from Alistair Denny's Code Flood test runner. So shout out to Alistair. But the concept is that this site here, this test site, is running as a Sitecore module. So it's installed into Sitecore, and it's running in the Sitecore context, and it can query Sitecore information and test against it, and it's just kind of more useful as part of the system. Plus, when you deploy it, it deploys with it, and you can, at some point, I'll probably put some permissions on the site, and so that only admins can see it or browse to it or whatever. But you have one place kind of now to kind of put everything. So let me jump in back to the back end too, because the back end is built in Sitecore to support this. And so here's the TestStar site as installed. There's some templates and everything here, but I have a content tree, I have a home page, the test results, an RSS feed for it, so you can get them in your mail. They kind of have these things running automatically, whenever, and you can read your mail and get the results on the go or wherever. Then I have a unit test and web test page. The content is really where a lot of the action goes down. So you have to define your environments, and here I'm setting local, and it's just this local prefix test, prod live. Then I build a site. Actually, I guess you got to build the systems first. So I have Sitecore, redirects, static, stellent, and they don't have any fields. They're just an icon indicator. But these, you can select the system from the dropdown. You can tell it your root domain. You can disable it if you want. Maybe you want to save the settings, but just not have it working or showing up in the lists. And then you select the environments that you want to support. So you kind of configure your sites, environments, and your systems. Then you define which assemblies you want to show up on those pages. So, maybe you have web tests or unit tests. I didn't necessarily want this thing crawling every binary just to look for tests. I wanted to be able to say these are the ones. So that's how I'm doing it here. I'm just setting the assembly name, and then I'm putting up a form for it. Same here with this. I do intend to build unit tests for the TestStar, so it will probably come with a default one for the system itself. So that's the back end, and it's not done yet. It's not. There's still a couple of things I need to kind of think about, but overall, it's done. It's coming along. I can run tests. I can start to build some things off of it. Hopefully, I can get this script generator up quick, get the test results displaying, and then just get everything kind of ready for at least a 1.0. It doesn't have to have every feature in the world. I just wanted to be able to get it out there and just show you that this kind of thing can be part of your everyday, like building unit tests, because a lot of it is just that barrier for entry. I know for me, it just took so long to be able to get to it, and I'm hoping that this will lower that bar and get everybody kind of feel like they're able to do it. Okay, so that's it. There's the TestStar status update. Have a nice holiday, and thank you for listening.